Welcome back to the Be Strong Show. I am your host, Michelle Shirley, CEO and Chief Heart Officer for Be Strong International. I'm so glad that you tuned in today. Listen, if you are not following us on all of our social media pages, you are missing out. We just had about 2 weeks ago, the most amazing thing happened this year for us. And that was the fact that in Palmetto Bay, in the village of Palmetto Bay, we now have a street named after us. It's called Be Strong Way. Listen, that's amazing. It's incredible. We had so many supporters. The mayor of Miami-Dade County came out to, of course, be a part of this amazing just legacy opportunity for us. And all thanks to, of course, the mayor of Palmetto Bay, Karen Cunningham, and the entire councilmen and women who all support our work. Join us, sign up for our newsletter, find out what's going on. Be Strong is hot. We're coming in hot. We're on the move. We're doing so many amazing things, and we're all about strengthening families and fostering meaningful connections. And so thank you for tuning in. So I have today an amazing guest with us, and her name is Leslie Simon. She is the Community Engagement Director for South Dade Kia and Toyota. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for this lovely invitation. I'm so excited to be here with you.
Yes, and I know you were at our street naming as well.
It was amazing. It was overwhelming. It was. It's really that environment and in that moment, giving you that accomplishment. It was so exciting. It was very, very exciting. I was so happy that I could be there with you and with your whole team.
Yes, it was amazing, and it's such a legacy for our organization, right? It's like a marker. You know, when you have certain points in your life where you realize, man, you're doing the right thing, you're on the right track, and people are supporting you and loving on you. I just can't thank you enough for being there and all of your support, which we're going to talk about today, right? But I want to just, before I get into that, because I do have some burning questions that I want to ask you. Yes, intense conversation today. I want to ask you a little bit about just your background and how you ended up just in this field of community engagement in general with South Dade Kia.
Well, I'm from Venezuela. I was born in Venezuela, and I came to this lovely country 17 years ago. And I really think that it begins with my family. I remember at home when I was small, my father was studying in Ann Arbor, Michigan, his college and then the university, and then they take there was a few other Venezuelan citizens that have scholarships and probably didn't have the same funds that we had, so they just what families were not using any longer, like beds, so like strollers, like TVs, and then they had it at home. So all those new Venezuelan citizens who were coming to study, they go to our basement, and it was like. I always say that our basement was like a warehouse.
Wow.
And then you go, if you didn't have a stroller and you have a new baby. So I grew up in a family where they was always giving back to the community and always giving back to their families and friends. So it was meant to.
It was just divine, yeah.
Yes, it was meant to. Yeah. And then when I was growing up, I used to go with my mom to the hospitals and to the nurseries facilities, and it was meant to. There was no way that I didn't finish working in the community. And I love to work and give the much as I can to the community that surrounds us.
That's so nice. That's so nice. So tell me a little bit about then from the transition from, I guess, being a young adult to or working several, I guess, jobs before you end up at South Dade Kia. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, in Venezuela, I study advertising and merchandising, but I went more on the field of public relations.
Okay.
No, and
Nice.
then for some reason, for the different companies I used to work with, all the different activities or needs that the community was looking on finished in my desk, and that's the way I begin engaging with the community, because it's not was only Leslie visiting a nursery home or visiting the hospital. No, it was Leslie just getting involved with the community, and then definitely I knew that that's what I wanted to do. So I moved from that part of advertising to engaging with the community, engaging with the medias, and was with those peoples in need. So I was working in an airline. I work in an airline from Venezuela for 22 years.
Wow. Nice.
That company transferred me to Miami,
Nice.
and then I was a country manager for that organization. And then the first thing that I did was, where is the Venezuelan community and what are the needs of the Venezuelan community,
Right.
so that we can support it. And then I get involved with the Chambers of Commerce. I become the president of the Venezuelan American Chamber of Commerce twice. I've been involved with the Chamber of Commerce more than 16 years. Actually, I met the owners of South Dade Toyota and South Dade Kia 16 years ago, well, 15 years ago.
Wow.
And then we were just friends. And then one day, the airline unfortunately closed their operations, and then I was looking for a job, and I just came to our Toyota facility that's in Homestead, and then there was doing service to my daughter's car.
Right.
And Lucy asked me, "What are you gonna do now?" And then I said, "Well, I'm just putting my CV, my resume in order, because after 22 years, I didn't know how to make my resume, because after 22 years working in the same company, I thought that I was gonna finish retiring. Retiring there. So she told me, and I was dropping. So my daughter was moving to San Francisco, and then she was taking her car, and that by that moment I didn't have a car. And Lucy told me, I'm gonna take one of the cars from the rental company. I said, no way, I'm not gonna take a car.
Right.
No, yeah, I don't know if something happens. And then she said, well, that's why the insurance are. And then I said, no way, I'm gonna take a car. And then she told me something that it was very, very important for me. She said, Leslie, since I met you, you only are giving. So I think that the lesson is that you have to begin to receive, accept it. And that was so powerful, so powerful, that I said, okay, I'm going to receive the car. And then the next day when I went to pick up the car, she told me, I need a few help here in human resource. In the meantime, you have something else. Or in the meantime, they was always saying that I have to run my own company of public relations.
Right.
And then and there was always the meantime.
Right.
And in the meantime, she told me, we have been working with the community for many years, and we just want to do it and more in organized and we want to definitely work with the community and based on education, and give back to our backyard, and you can help me in the meantime. And in the meantime, it was only 3 days weekly.
Wow.
And in the meantime, it began to grow, and then we get more engaged with the community, and then the company began to grow also. When I began 4 years ago, we were only 190 employees.
Wow.
Today, 4 years later, we're 320.
Ooh.
And willing to grow and grow.
That's amazing.
I always make a joke. I began serving the coffee, and then 4 years later, I'm the director of community engagement.
Right. Right, but you have to start somewhere, and it's a process.
And I really love to say this story because, it's when this company gives to the community, the first thing they will do in it, they were doing it from their heart. So then get it more organized and defining your goals. So it was much easier.
Yes.
Difficult when you get in a company and they just want to give to the community and say, they feel very comfortable just giving to. No, this is an organization that have been involved with the community since the beginning. We're in December, it's going to be 15 years.
That's beautiful.
And then and sometimes I say, and they pay me for this? Is that really?
Right. That's what I say when I wake up.
Yes,
I get paid to do
when
this.
When I go to your events, and when I see the amazing job Be Strong is doing with the kids and with the families and with the marriage and all that, I say, and I get involved with you, and I say, and they pay me for this? Is that really? I love. So it's beautiful. It's a blessing.
Wow. That's so cool. And I think as givers, because I'm a giver too, it is hard for us to receive. right?
It is. It is. It is.
It is hard.
But Lucy teach me that lesson, and I have been
That's beautiful.
working on and tracking and
Working
working
on
on
it,
that.
right.
Working on it. Yes.
We're working on
It's not
it.
easy, but
Right,
I'm
right.
working on it. Yes.
Wow,
I
that's so
still work on it.
beautiful. Yeah, no, that's a beautiful story, and I'm so glad that you were able to share that, and it shows the heart of the leaders
Yes.
that are at South Dade Kia and Toyota, right?
And then you see in the next generation, because you see their son and their daughter and their nephews. So you see Adriana, and who has coming with me often to be strong, and because she really loves also working with the community. And then Gabby asked me, and if I were involved with this, or what we were doing with that. And when Mario says that how proud he feels about what his family has been doing with the community, and it's their legacy.
That's absolutely right.
There's their legacy, and they're engaged also with that legacy. So it's amazing, because the next generation is also going to be working with the community, and that's wonderful.
So beautiful. And you guys become, and you don't, they don't, I don't know if they think about it often, but they become a staple. It becomes a memory in people's hearts that I saw this team here. I saw how much they poured into our lives, right? And so they think about that when they make their car purchase decisions, when they're thinking about referring their friends, right? They know that this is an entity that cares about the community, right? So
the most difficult part, as you're saying, is to let our community or our customers know that thanks for their support, we're able to work with the community.
Yes. True.
So it's and then we're working on that.
It's reciprocal. Yeah.
Yes, we're working on that. So because when we work with the community, when we are in a Be Strong event, we're representing also our customers.
Yes.
It's not only because we are putting the funds there. It's our customers' funds.
So good. So
and
good.
that is something that we will love to share more. And then we're looking and working on the way to show to our customer that this is also your effort. This is also your work.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And somehow I can even imagine like making it part of like the car purchase experience, where because you bought this car today, this is the impact that you're making, because as a family and as a legacy, it's not just you buying the car, it's all of the ripple effects, right? Of what this organization is doing for the community. I love that.
Yes,
I love that. Oh, so amazing. So amazing. Well, I have a burning question, right? Oh my goodness. So driving here, thinking about this show today, and I was thinking to myself, like, and I can't speak for all women, but I must say that I want to ask you, why is it such a, I guess, high level of intimidation for women to go into the dealership to purchase a car, right? They work hard for their money. They want to get a car, and yet they have to bring in their husband or their brother or an uncle to kind of be that force to be reckoned with, because they don't want to be taken advantage of at the car dealership. So I would love for you to explain that, because there might be some people watching today who are like, yes, answer that for us, Leslie, right? Why is it still in 2024 that we feel like we have to do that?
Well, the first thing is that we allowed the men's to make us feel that we are not strong enough,
right,
or we are not advised enough to buy our cars by ourselves.
Right.
So it's funny you make that question, because it actually this year, that was one of the concerns of Lucy, one of our co-founders.
Okay, so I'm not crazy.
No, of course you're not crazy. You're not crazy. It is that
real.
way.
It's a thing.
It is that way. The women normally, when they go to the dealer, they go with a father, with a brother, with her husband, with a friend, with her neighbor. Actually, I had a friend that once comes to buy a car, and she had her 4 brothers on FaceTime. When I saw that, I get so embarrassed that I had to get out.
Right.
No, and then I left her by herself and with the sailor.
Right.
So Lucy, coming from the automotive industry in Venezuela, but she also comes from the industry with her family, and she grew up in this environment, and she knew that happened, that she wanted to make a special program for women to feel comfortable once you come in the dealer, and so she launched campaign that the name is Her Drive, Her Voice.
Oh wow!
So today, if you go to our dealers, any of the three dealers, you can ask somebody and say, I saw the campaign for her drive her voice. And then some of the salesmen will come and sit with you and make that that moment very special, totally transparency, totally. They have to empathize with you, so you don't get nervous, and you don't think that you don't understand. And then you have to ask, because sometimes we don't like to make the tough questions because we are afraid to make the tough questions. No, you have to. Let me give you an statistic. The 85% of the sales in the cars are influenced for a woman, by a woman.
Right.
And then, but we allow them to say that we don't know how to drive, that we don't drive safely, that we are the worst drivers, and it's not true. Yeah. You know, the first car that they made for a woman was do you remember Penelope Glamour? No, probably no. You're younger than I am, but it was a Dodge car. It's with pink, with a pink umbrella, and it came with a pink purse. Did we really need that?
Right.
No. But, and then if you're driving your car, you have to ask, you have to be more interested. Probably you don't have to ask how the engine works, but you can also change the tire, open and see how it works. So we have been working very, very hard with all our customers and with all our employees, so they can be more friendly and be more empathized with the women. And at the end of the day, it's your money.
Right.
So why you have to another person take the decision for you?
Right, exactly. Right.
No, and then they don't do it with you. They do it for you. So and actually that's the same way that I bought my cars here when I got it.
What I'm saying?
Yes, it is. So you're not wrong when you say that we always get very nervous, and then they think they're not gonna work with me, and then just work with the men. So, no, you can go today and then ask for the campaign, Her Drive Her Voice, and it's gonna be totally different and more friendly.
I love that. I love the innovation behind your organization, even on that scale. I think that I would love to see the numbers of how you've increased sales and the comfortability of women as they purchase their cars. Do you think part of it too is the fact that it is a male-dominated industry? Because when you walk into a dealership, it's not like you see women standing there, right? There's like 4 men outside, all waiting to see if they could.
But today in our dealers, you will see a few women.
Wow,
we do. We are actually we're always willing to find automotive technicians who are women, and then basically today in all our dealers, you will see women on the sales fields and sitting with men who are buying a car, and then sit with them one to one. And then when you see Lucy, who is our co-founder and is our CEO, our COO, and it's amazing because it's a woman's behind the wheel, and it's a woman behind the business, side by side with her husband, and then you see her daughter is also the next generation, and her niece are also the next generations, and they're women. So you see in this in every day more women in the industry.
Wow, that's good stuff. I love it. I'm gonna look that up because I would love to share that information as well. That's so great. I want to ask you, because there may be nonprofit leaders watching and just community organizations that are watching, and they feel like, hey, I would love to get support from an organization like yours. What could they do? What is it that you're looking for when you say community support in an organized way?
We're always looking for those organizations that work in South Dade, and that's the community that surrounds us. That's like Be Strong, and then specifically on education. We definitely think that's the key for success. That's the key for Be Strong, a very Be Strong community, and that's why we're more focused on education. That's why we have been working with colleges and supporting their athletes, or supporting other students who doesn't have the opportunity to finish college. So we're more focused on education. That's our first goal. And then we also have that's a campaign that we we have been working for more than 5 years with cancer, with La Liga contra el Cáncer, and then and with Chapman Partnership in Homestead, because it's also our community.
Yeah.
So, but our main goal is education.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, you said some names of some organizations that are definitely dear to our heart and friends of ours as well. So I love that. I love that.
I know.
Yes, and you'll probably be getting calls after this. Well, how can I be a part of this, right? So be ready for that.
But I know that happens very often. But if we can't in this moment, I always say that we're beginning to build.
Yes.
Our supports also.
Nice.
And then if we can't, probably we have a partner who can.
Yes.
We always have so it's not only by ourselves. We work together.
Yeah.
So we always have partners that we can probably just try to find and can work out.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Well, I'd love to talk more because it was so interesting where we were headed. But I do want to switch gears to our SocialYaks game. So this game is about people in the audience getting to know Leslie more, right? I think so many people see you at the chambers, but they don't know you, right? So today they're getting a chance to know you a little bit more, and I'm excited about that. So our first level of the game is called Breaking the Ice. So I want you to pick the blue card there.
Let me see. Hopefully I don't need my glasses. Okay.
And then you can read that aloud, and then you'll answer that question for us.
What's the most painful injury you have ever experienced? Yes. When I broke my ankle, it was in 2019, and it hurt by two ways. It hurt because the when you broke a bone, it's very, very painful, and then because that year I was running as a guide with for an athlete with disabilities in New York Marathon, so I couldn't do it. So it was so painful. So that's why I say it was a double pain.
I know. Oh,
but I did it in 2022.
Okay. Oh, good. So you bounced back then?
Yes, I finished doing it.
High five, my friend. Yes.
Thank you.
Perseverance. I love that. I love that. And we were just talking about, before we started the show, about heels too, right? Like not being able to wear those high inch heels as much.
That's why since 2019 I don't. It's that I just wear it if it's very, very necessary, and just wear it a little bit.
Yeah,
just a while.
Okay, so we'll get to the next level here, the yak. We're going to get a little bit more social. So read that one for us.
If you came back in your next life as an animal, what animal will you be? I will be a horse.
Really? Tell us why.
I really like horses. As riding on a horse. And well, I haven't just thinking like a rider, no, but I feel like it's like free when you can ride and ride and ride. It's also there's nothing that can stop you, and then I love that sensation.
Yeah, wow. You just gave me like a beautiful visual. I'm like, wow, that's you riding a horse all the way into like endless field, right?
Yes.
The freedom of that.
It doesn't end.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a sensation of freedom.
Yeah. And it's a strong animal.
It is.
Awesome. Okay, so the next one, we're going to dig a little deeper. Now, I have no idea what that card is going to say, but just be ready.
What regrets will you have if you were to die today? Oh. Spend more time with my son and my daughter when they were little, and then I had to fly so often because I was working in an airline, and when I listened to my son that said he doesn't want to work so hard that he saw me, and then probably I regret that. I will do it in a different way. I don't know what way, but I will try to do it in a different way.
Yeah. Wow. That's powerful to share.
Yeah.
That might resonate with some people who are watching now who feel like they're in that race.
And because specifically when you're a mom by yourself, also, and you have to raise your kids by yourself, and because their father lives in another country, and you have to work very hard to raise them, and definitely I know that I'm doing the best for them, but when you hear him say that to me, it's hard.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, you have time to make up as best as you can now. Right?
Yes.
While you're here, as much as you can.
Yes, yeah, that's what I try to do.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Somebody hopefully needed to hear that today. Yeah. Okay, we went deep for sure. This is the last one, and I want you to read it, and I'm going to answer it about you.
If I was a school teacher, what subject will I teach? Why?
Okay. So, I think, and I'm glad you shared your background earlier of PR and marketing and whatnot. But I think ever since I've met you, it's not a realistic topic, but I think it's just optimism and joy that you have. You would be a great teacher in teaching that to people. I think you're a constant in your joy. I've never, as much as I've interacted with you, I've never seen you angry. And if you're angry, you're probably still smiling about it, right?
I am. Yeah.
You're just that level of joy and optimism that I think people need. I think you fit your role so beautifully well. I think Lucy was very smart in bringing you on, and the way in which you've been able to change people's lives and change nonprofit leaders and communities in which you serve. I think it's something that is definitely worth having, and you have that. And there's a lot of people that are running a rat race today, and they're trying to accomplish so many things, but they're not joyful. And I see that in you, and I think that's a great thing that you could teach. And now, of course, there's studies about joy that are being released today. But I think you would be a great teacher on joy and optimism. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
You know that now that you're saying that, last year I was in Washington, and I was just speaking with a friend, and I told her I'm going tomorrow to Washington. I said I have a book list that I have to drop in a school in Washington D.C. and this is from Cadena International, and can you just drop them and I said yes, I would love to. And then she said, if you want to share your experience as a volunteer, it will be wonderful. And then it was just like came out of the nowhere,
Yeah.
you know? And then I was in this school with teenagers, speaking about my experience going as a volunteer in Africa, and then in Colombia with the U.S. Comfort, the ship that is the hospital ship, the biggest hospital ship from the U.S. And then seeing those faces, and they were so interested. And then I said, you know what? This is something I really want to do. I will really want to share my volunteers experience, and then with teenagers, because tomorrow there's going to be the next philanthropics, the next social impact, the next project managers for another for an NGO. And yes, I really enjoy my life. I really enjoy my work, and yes. And sometimes I say to my mom, you don't. She complains. If my sister complains from her work, my mom said, "Oh, poor your sister." And I said, "You never say poor Leslie's work, because I always enjoy my work."
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, no, I definitely see that in you, and I think so much more to come. So much more to come on what you guys are doing, and I think you're doing incredible work. And just you're just an amazing staple for your organization as well. So
thank you.
Yeah. So we have half a minute left, and I just want you to look into that camera and probably share anything that the community needs to know about Self-Dade Care, or any upcoming events, anything that you want to share to final out this segment with us. Yeah.
Well, we are very excited, because on December we're going to be celebrating our 15th anniversary, since that's when we began 15 years ago, this company with South-Dade Toyota in Homestead. But what I most want to share with you is that you are part of all the different opportunities that we have working with our community. It's probably you will see me, you'll see somebody from the team, but for all our customers, you are part of that, because part of what you when you buy a car goes to the to the social impact programs that we work with. So thank you very much. I have to say thanks to all our customers, and for the new customers, you will know that you won't regret buying a South Dade Toyota and a South Dade Kia car.
Love it, love it. Well, thank you again, Leslie, for
No,
being
thank
on our
you.
show today. Amazing, amazing. I just want to close out by saying if you haven't visited South Dade Kia or Toyota, please do. They're an amazing organization doing incredible work. And I think if you've learned anything today, if you are that type of giver that we're talking about, please, please, please be comfortable in receiving. It goes both ways. And so thank you for being a part of our show, and we'll see you next time.